Welcome back to the Squirrel Circus podcast. I'm the Rainbow Squirrel. I'm joined by Ian and Andy.
Hello.
And, well, today we'll be reading Zweihander. This is episode 12. And hopefully we'll get some good insights out of it. This is the newest version of Zweihander, Mark VII. And let's begin.
All right. All right.
Yeah, we have the text up here on screen. Any and all self-contradictory propositions are false. Now, this is foundation of classical logic. And the only thing that comes to mind that sort of puts a wrench into that is the liar's paradox. Have you guys heard the liar's paradox?
Nope. I'm not sure. Do you mention it later
No.
on the text? No, I don't think I have.
It's essentially the cleanest version of it is this statement is false. If the statement is
All right.
false, then it's
Mm-hmm.
true, but then it's a true statement, and the statement says that it's false, so it's
Okay.
false.
Yeah, I
So
understand that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yep.
that's the only thing that sort of complicates classical logic. There are some ways out of it, like saying a self-referential statement that isn't actually saying anything beyond the statement uh, is not actually contradicting itself because it's not saying anything at all. It
All
seems like a
right.
sort of cheap way to get out of it, but that's the one sort of weird exception to the thing where it's like neither true nor false. But
Okay.
beyond that, you can think of a statement like, I am not speaking. By saying I am not speaking, I am speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, that statement is false because it's self-contradictory.
Yeah.
And it's
Or
not a
like, what are you
paradox
doing? And you say nothing, right? You just did something by
by
saying that
saying.
you are doing nothing. Yeah. Okay.
Except
Yeah.
in those
Okay.
cases, all of those statements are false.
All right. All right.
Which leads into the next thing. Truth exists. It is the alignment of mind with reality. We're taking for granted that mind and reality exist because to say that neither of them do or that one of them doesn't would also imply a self-contradiction. And we've that's explored in other Zweihander texts. But
Okay.
it's fair to take them for granted. Mind exists. You couldn't deny the mind without having a mind. Reality exists. You couldn't deny reality without existing in reality. So they exist. It is the alignment of mind with reality. The statement that truth doesn't exist is either true, in which case truth does exist, so the statement contradicts itself, or it is false, in which case truth does exist. Either way, truth exists.
Truth exists.
It helps so much that you say it in words like emphasizing because reading it, it's like a mind-boggling thing. Because I needed help from Ian to read this because
Yeah,
it's
we read it
very,
together.
very complex. So it's really helpful that
And it
you're
was,
actually
yeah,
talking
we had a
about it.
very interesting talk, and
Yeah.
it's a very interesting thought. Yeah, let's keep reading. Let's keep reading, and it really helps having you kind of to
Tone it,
Thank you.
emphasize it. Yeah.
yes, exactly.
All things follow cause and effect, including human action. That's, again, we're taking that as axiomatic. Everything that happens has a cause. We can go full Aristotelian. There are four causes. There's the final cause, there's the efficient cause, there's the material and formal causes. Everything has a cause, including human action. It's a phenomena
Okay.
that occurs, which has causes. But reason, the capacity for aligning mind with reality, the mechanism of truth, that's how we defined truth earlier, participates uniquely in the causal chain of human action. By denying reason's role in action, one denies reason's role in the act of said denial, and thus admits that said denial is unreasonable. If I tell you, reason is not what causes action. I am acting in a certain way, and that either that action that I am partaking in was driven by reason, by aligning mind with truth, or it wasn't. If it wasn't, then the statement is false. And if it was, then the statement is false. Reason participates in the causal structure of action.
All right.
Such a claim is a dissociation between the mind of the denier and reality, rendering such a denial a falsehood. Therefore, reason shapes human action, distinguishing it from simple reaction. And this is what it means to have free will. Not freedom from causation, but having one's actions caused by one's reason. And that's the compatibilist view of the Stoics. Everything in the universe has causes and different causal structures, and the causal structure of humanity is unique, and that unique causal structure is what we call free will, not an uncaused, supernatural caused, but just a structure.
Okay.
If I
Okay.
repeat myself too much, do tell me, because I feel like I'm gonna
No, it helps that you repeat. Actually, it makes it stay better. Because it's I guess it's kind of difficult to explain a lot of this, but I guess that's philosophy, right? That's philosophy. It's just trying, trying our best. I wouldn't be able to explain this better, but I get it. I get it.
And the cleanest, simplest formulation of this idea is cogito ergo sum libera. I think, therefore I am free. Because
I
thought
like that.
is the causal structure that, you know, is the essence of what it is to have free will. And
Right.
this is where it gets interesting. Because we are free, we cannot escape choosing. And every choice expresses a preference for one path above all others. That is to say, every action expresses a hierarchy of values. If you choose to drink water, it's like, why do you choose to drink water? Because you're thirsty. And why do you care about not being thirsty? Because you care about not dying. Why do you care about not dying? And there, the question gets really interesting and existential.
Are we ever going to delve into that in some video?
Yes, probably in this one. The end of Zweihander deals with that question. The most fundamental choice is between the universe's core trends, thermodynamically speaking, entropy and negentropy.
Okay, okay.
Entropy is
And this
dissolution.
text kind of gets into it, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Let's keep going. Let's build on this.
Entropy is dissolution, decay, homogenization, death. Negentropy is organization, differentiation, growth, life. Each human individual is a locus of reason and volition. Each individual is a negentropic miracle. Because think of all the structure and the information that is inside of a human. There's the DNA that makes us up, which itself
It's
DNA is
really, yeah, it's crazy.
extremely negentropic
But
structure.
also it's inevitable.
Elaborate.
Negentropy, I would say it's inevitable because if we go by the law of Murphy, anything that can happen will happen. This is like literally the product of that. Whatever molecule attached to itself, attached to something to create something that can replicate itself. That's like it only has to happen once until it happens like all the time. You know what I mean? Therefore, it's
Yeah,
inevitable,
there's
which is
a
amazing. Like,
hint
how can
of
something negentropical be
neotropic.
negentropical
Megantropic.
be like unavoidable? It's pretty crazy to me. I love that.
Yeah, it would seem to violate thermodynamics. It doesn't. It doesn't. But it would certainly give that appearance. And I think you're right that there's an element of
The
destiny
idea
and
that we have to
fate.
exist, right? Like in the whole universe, the idea that we can exist mean that we have to exist,
Mm-hmm.
kind of, right?
Exactly.
That
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
That's
that's what you mean,
100%.
right? So
100% what you mean.
it seems miraculous that we are this thing of negantropy in a universe of entropy, right? But is it really that miraculous? Or is it
But
is the universe that big, or are there many like more like us?
yeah,
I
I
don't know.
get
It just
it goes
sparks a
into
lot of
range,
questions.
right?
It really
Yeah,
sparks a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of questions. Yeah,
We
like
can go crazy over that.
Well, it depends on what we mean by miracle. If by miracle we mean like an intentional violation of the laws of physics by some supernatural being, then that's not what I mean by the text. That is
yeah,
certainly not.
okay,
No,
yeah,
we know what you
But
mean.
if we're talking about something that
something
is
that has a very low chance of happening, but still happens. You know,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
that's
It.
what one means by miracle. I think. I think.
yes, and something that is
Because
great, something in the sense that the Burj Khalifa is a an architectural miracle.
exactly. See, what
I
I
guess.
meant was
Hmm.
like in the entropic sense, like in the thermodynamics, there's always like entropy happens because there's different chances for something to be somewhere, right? So something very entropic means that there are equal chances of, let's say, molecules being in any space, right? But something
Right.
negentropic is something that has a normal I don't know if it's normal distribution. Me estoy sacando así del bolsillo, but like a very high chance of molecules being in one part and a very low chance of being in another part. You know what I mean? That's like
Yes, yes, that's exactly
negentropy.
it.
Exactly.
That
So
is information density.
negentropy.
Yes,
Exactly. That's negentropy. And what happened with like life is that negentropy had to happen because even if there's entropy, that there's a low chance that negentropy happens. Negentropy will happen by chance somehow because molecules move, right? So even in an entropic state, negentropy has a very, very slim chance to happen, but it does happen. And the thing with life is that only some molecules had to come together in order to self-reproduce, which is like the molecules somehow gaining the ability to reproduce itself. And once that happens, like only one time it has to happen and not dissolve in like to
right.
nothingness.
Maybe it took a couple tries before it started propagating.
Exactly. Exactly. But it is possible to go from an entropic place to a negentropic place. So because it
Yes,
had the chance, it will happen. Therefore, that's why we're here.
it's
That's a story of life, guys.
something that I think is important and a bit dark is that the tendency towards entropy does win out at the whole scale level.
Yeah.
Like that, we're basically borrowing negentropy by creating more entropy outside.
Yes.
So every living creature does that, increases its own negentropy by increasing entropy outside of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is
I guess
for
you can say that's like the gathering of resources, right? Just like breaking things apart to kind of
Mhm.
integrate them into
And
what
even
you are.
technology, like doing specific things, anything that has to do with specific is negentropy.
yep, and it generates heat. So it
Hmm.
Exactly.
balances out toward entropy winning.
It takes energy. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
So we'll explore more about that. But humans, for example, if we try to increase our own negentropy by increasing the entropy of other humans, through
Hmm.
war, through theft, through
Hmm.
murder, that ends up being counterproductive. So
All right.
Okay.
it becomes a question of how, in order for any individual negentropy to truly increase in the long term, the negentropy of the entire species has to increase in the long term. And the text gets more into how that can happen.
Okay.
Because one would think those are sort of opposites in a sense. Like you're either looking out for other people or you're looking out for yourself. But
It's a bit
if you're doing
counterintuitive. Yeah.
if you're doing either of them properly, you're doing both.
Hmm.
Okay.
Where were we? Each human is a locus of reason and volition. Each individual is a negentropic miracle. To sustain that miracle, individuals must act. Through action, reason can test, correct, and preserve its informational structure through feedback from the world, as presented by the senses. That's how we interact with the world. Without action, the mind loses alignment, accumulates noise, and decays into entropy. Human action, properly understood as reason-guided choice towards selected futures, is therefore not optional but necessary for the negentropic functioning of reason itself. Volitional action is how reason sustains its own order against decay. So, people act, people do stuff.
That's good for negentropy.
Good for negentropy. The doing stuff
Yeah.
is good for negentropy.
Yes. Life.
Is another thing is entropy. The tendency towards entropy is going to play out no matter what. The tendency towards negentropy is not. It is
Hmm.
very contingent. It is fragile. It
Mm.
is special. And so when I say an objection that could come up is, well, you say you're fighting for negentropy, but at the whole level, you're still increasing entropy. It's like, yes, but entropy at the whole level is going to increase no matter what, whether there is negentropy or not. So I want to make sure that there is negentropy and as much of it as possible.
Yeah. I guess it's like in the whole universe, there is a specific amount of entropy that there can be, right? Before everything kind of
Mm.
just. And we're just kind of accelerating the entropy in certain places to kind of slow down the entropy and even do the opposite where we are, kind of, right?
Right.
But the amount of entropy there can be is it's gonna happen, right? It's still gonna everything is gonna dissolve, including us, including the little miracles of the volitional miracles and the yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think it's also worth to think about the range that we're talking about because we could be talking about like literally the ecosystem of my room, right? How entropic and negentropic I act upon it. But we can also think globally, like literally the earth, right? Or we can go as big as the observable universe, you know? And things like ethics, uh, they they change a lot throughout all of these ranges. So in terms of what do you think is the best for this range, I think it's very valuable to put that like to pin that to say it, right? What are you talking about? Are you talking about globally or personally, interpersonally,
Well,
the
that's where I get to
universe?
what is the most negentropic structure? What is let's say,
I would
sharpest
say
division of probability states? or the highest
Smallest you go.
information density. What?
The smallest you go, I would say. I've not thought about it. I'm just going through intuition, but I would say a molecule is the most like I would say. I'm
But
not sure.
what's more information dense, a molecule or a cell? A cell has more information than a
Oh yeah,
molecule.
cell. True, true. The cell, but
Yeah.
then cell or a brain. A brain is very
A
negentropic.
brain is far more negentropic
But
than a
then
cell.
where do we
I
go?
guess anything that can produce the most amount of stuff and that can do the most amount of
Yeah, but like
stuff,
look at the
right?
sun. The sun produces massive amounts of energy. Is that
Energy,
the most
but it doesn't
But
have
it
much information per unit energy.
what do you mean with information? Like how complex it is?
Yes,
it's just a massive ball of the same type of energy, you know. There
Okay,
like
so
there might be levels of
like if
like
you were to compare the sun to a cell, the cell is more negentropic because it has
okay,
more
so
information per
we
energy.
need we need like something that's complex. Would you say molecule wise complex? Just
So,
matter wise complex? Because a
hmm,
thought can also be very negentropic. But we're going on physical stuff. Let's stay in the physical world. So something that is very complex and that can produce things, right?
that can act.
That can act, exactly. So we need a living being, right? Because
Hmm.
non-living beings cannot act. Are we good with that fact? Yes,
Yeah,
I'm not the okay. Let's not overthink this. So a living being that can act and that is the most complex, right? That is the most negentropic thing,
structure.
basically. So what is the most negentropic thing of the universe, Matt?
As far as we know,
as far as
humans.
we know.
Would you say that?
Humans, yes.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Or
I
even
mean,
more complex, human civilizations.
yeah.
Okay.
And the more
Human civilization.
civilized, the more negentropic. And yes,
Uh,
some
okay.
societies are more civilized than
So the
others.
more we work together, so the more we look like a brain, because brain like cells work together, the more united our capabilities are, the more negentropic we are, no, as human beings.
Yeah, more harmonious. It's like, for example,
Harmonious.
one brain cell doesn't go and stab another brain cell.
As far as we know, no.
Yeah, no, no, it's a very harmonious system. All
Mhm.
I
of the
can see how
cells
all of
are.
this just is just leading us directly into capitalism.
I can feel it.
That's
I
those
can
are the last two
smell it.
paragraphs. Those are the
It
last two
just
paragraphs.
kind of reeks.
What can I say? What can I say?
We're being brainwashed right now, Ian. Let's go.
Oh no.
I I am the brain soul. I am the brain one. Speaking of civilization, civilization is volition in coexistence, the coordination of many reasoning agents, individuals, acting simultaneously in a shared world of scarce means, each carrying local knowledge that can only be expressed through volitional action. So,
All right.
yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
more coordinated, uh,
Mhm.
the more civilized. But what's going to get you the best kind of coordination? Can you imagine if there was like a brain cell, a neuron that was connected to all of the other neurons and was telling them what to do? That would be terribly inefficient.
No, that would be crazy.
That would be so bad.
There's a Rick and Morty episode where I remember I think Rick has like an affair with this civilization, with this alien civilization where they all share the same brain. So
Oh shit.
all the individuals just share the same brain, and he has like an affair with the whole. No, it's crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, shout out to that episode for those who know Rick
Shout out to Rick
and
and
Morty.
Morty.
They have some great stuff. They really do.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a great show.
because of scarcity, the perpetual and universal disparity between available resources and desired resources. That's really important. Scarcity doesn't mean there's a set number of resources and that's all there is, and uh, we're competing for that.
Okay.
That's not what it is. That is just not what it is. Because,
That's competition.
well, we do compete for resources, but not for a set amount. If we're on one planet, maybe then we have a set amount of resources. But humans are special. Humans are so negentropic that we can go to other planets and take resources from there and potentially across billions of years explore the
Mhm.
entire observable universe. And so it's like, yeah, okay, that's a big set of resources. That's way, way more than what anyone right now needs. So that's not scarcity exactly. Like, oh, the universe is so scarce of resources. There will never be enough for 1 trillion humans. Like, no, that's ridiculous.
But I
Let's
guess there is kind of a pressure on humanity on the amount of resources it has access to in the moment, right? Because we don't
accept
yet have the technology to travel to
Alpha
Mars and
Centauri.
yeah, and gain resources from there and mine diamonds and fucking Uranus or Pluto. I don't know. We can't do that yet,
There
and
are diamonds in Miagas. Oh no, wait.
we are finding we are finding challenges because of that, right? There is like a race, right? We have to get that technology and advance with that technology before we just start actually lacking the resources that we are locked up with
Mhm.
in
And
planet Earth,
that's
right?
what I mean by scarcity here. Like there is a disparity between the resources we want to have access to. I
Mhm.
would want to have a fucking private jet right now, but I don't because there's not enough for all of us.
Yeah,
And yeah, so that's what scarcity means. That we will always, at every moment in our species history, and any species really, want more things than we have access to.
And that's
It's
scarcity.
That's scarcity,
Okay.
which leads to the next point. The coexistence of volitions, civilization, is impossible without boundaries that define who may act where, with what, and when. So, for example, I don't have a private jet, but maybe one of us has a car. It's like who gets to determine who gets to use the car at what point and for what. We can
okay.
say, well, we can leave it up to a vote, and maybe that's scalable up to like what, 5 people. But beyond that, you're gonna need an
Okay.
owner of the car, and that's gonna determine who has the right to act, where, with what, and when. Those boundaries
Yeah,
are property rights. Property
and I guess
rights.
there is kind of a statistic, right, on how much land is needed for one person to survive. Because for you to survive and to eat, right, you have to go to a supermarket and buy fruit and buy meat and buy, I don't know, cereals and shit. And that was grown in a certain amount of space, right?
Mm.
And there is an amount of space that every single human being needs, like usable space to grow food and to grow energy, right? Does that? It's just a thought that sparked in my mind
But
when you
for
said like,
example, I don't have any space to grow food on,
no, but I mean,
and yet I eat a lot.
but there is an amount of space that kind of belongs to you, right? In that aspect, and the
Right?
farm
Not
where
really.
the
Not yet.
fruit that you usually buy in the supermarket, right? Imagine it always comes from the same farm, right? There would be like one tree that is designated for your nutrition, right?
But that's where
And
specialization comes in. Like, for example, I Could you make a water bottle?
No, I don't.
Can anyone make a water bottle?
No, no, really.
No, someone has to get the fossil fuels, the plastic, and then
Yeah,
someone has to get the machines to do it, and then someone has to get the liquid from somewhere else. Someone has to carbonate it.
The
Like
liquid.
the liquid, yeah, it can be any liquid. It doesn't have to be water.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Like
that makes total sense. Uh-huh.
so, we can have what would be more negentropic? Every single brain cell doing every single function of every other brain cell, or each brain cell specializing in one
It does, yeah, yeah, yeah. We need
specific
jobs.
thing.
We need people doing specialization. Every cell in your body, when you're born, you have a lot of cells that are called stem cells that are not specialized, and they
Yeah.
specialize to do a type of job in your body. It's just how it works, yeah. And we were like that too. Like humans also like specialize into jobs. Right now, I'm specializing into being an animator,
Mhm.
for example, just like cells.
Yeah, and that's where I'm go. That's where I'm trying to go. I don't know if I can get to explain myself with words, but
You can do it. Believe in you.
that's the thing. Like I, as an individual, I'm consuming space. Like when I buy stuff in the supermarket for energy, right?
Mhm.
I consume space from farms and from. I cannot go into the farms and pick like my own stuff, and go to my
Yeah,
designated area, but I can
because
have
it's
my
someone
own
else's
space.
property.
Exactly, where but I can have my own space,
You
right?
could.
Where
You could.
I will be using to kind of generate money to kind of buy those little spaces around in the farms. I'm trying to make this make sense, but
We'll
It
get to
makes
it.
sense. It makes
Believe me,
sense.
we'll get to it in the text. The text gets to
okay,
this.
okay.
These boundaries are property rights. Property rights minimize conflicts by assigning exclusive control over action spaces,
Mhm.
allowing voluntary coordination between individuals to occur organically. So you trade a service for someone
Mhm.
else's money, then you use that money and you trade it for someone else's food. And that's all coordinated through your property.
I absolutely love this text. It's so it's so clear, like it's like a law. You're describing the law of human interaction. The law of the grid of the way the universe works. Like that's crazy how you can put that into words. Like
Oh, it only took 7 tries
they
and months. I guess months is better than years.
yeah.
This is really important. The first and most irrevocable action space that any and all rational individuals must have exclusive control over in order to preserve their own negentropy is their body.
Mhm.
Like that's the first property. Property defined as what you have legitimate control over is your body. If someone's
Makes
like, I'm a cannibal, I'm gonna come over, chop your arm off, eat it. That's
sense.
not that's not
What?
negentropic. It's just not. That increases the entropy of the system and decreases the negentropy.
Yeah, because you don't have a hand, and the hand is entropy and negentropy. So yeah,
Exactly.
definitely it makes sense. 100%.
Slavery is another example of that. Slavery
Mhm.
erodes negentropy by replacing the volition of one with that of another,
Can you
thus
explain
reducing.
volition? Explain
Volition
volition again.
is free will. Volition is, well, what we explained earlier with free will, the effect of reason upon your actions.
Okay.
Volition is just a fancy word for free will.
Okay.
Slavery erodes negentropy by replacing the volition of one with that of another, thus reducing the number of individual reasoning agents within the system. Again, can you imagine one brain cell just shuts down another brain cell and does the calculations of both? If that
Yeah,
happens
no.
enough, your whole brain dies. And we're
And
back to
has to,
just
yeah.
the master brain cell controlling all of the other
But
cells.
hmm, why does that feel wrong? Why does it feel like that's not? Maybe because what slavery does is not because the people that are enslaved, they aren't they are doing things, and the person that is enslaving them is not doing all of the things that the slaves would be doing instead, you know? It's more of a you do my thing. You know what I'm going for? Like I feel like
Yes, I think I get what you're saying, but the first thing, the most important labor a human can do is the mind.
mhm.
That's what the
But do you think that the person enslaving people is thinking double or triple or
well, they
I
can't
think
because they're just one person. So they're basically making a bunch of other people that could be thinking
ah
do what their limited brain says.
right. Okay, okay, cool. So it's not like they're okay. So they're shutting down potential negentropy, right?
Technically, the slaves are not allowed to act based upon their own reason. So you have five people acting based on the reason of one person.
Right. Okay. Okay, now I get
Terribly
it.
inefficient, terribly entropic.
Mhm.
Because, like I said, it reduces the number
Slavery is
of.
bad. Slavery is bad.
Slavery is bad, but we have to explain why.
Yeah.
Because if we
Yeah,
don't
because
explain
some
why,
people
then
just don't seem to understand why is slavery bad. Like, why is
yeah,
it bad?
it's
This is
bad
why it's bad.
because it is entropic. Because
Because
It's
death.
entropic. It's
Because
destructive.
death.
It's death. Yeah.
It's death.
It's just
it's
outer
that.
space.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's turning the most negentropic structure on the planet, a human, into essentially a donkey,
Yeah.
which is wrong if we're trying to maximize negentropy, which we should be trying to maximize.
Mhm.
It is only negentropic for one individual to exercise control over the body of another when the other has not yet developed the capacity for reason. In such a scenario, you're not replacing someone else's capacity for reason with your own. You're
Mhm.
more like the the stem cell giving the other cell energy to specialize and become something.
Hmm.
Is that a biologically sound analogy?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like as being, I don't know, a CEO in a company and offering someone a job, right? Someone who needs a job and who is looking actively for a job to kind of better their expertise on whatever. And you hire them, and instead of just kidnapping him from the street and make him work for you, you know?
But in
That's
that
that's
case, both individuals already have their reason developed. Like if someone's looking for a
I
job,
was
they have the reason, the CEO has
yeah.
the reason. This is more
Yeah.
for children
Yeah.
and the senile, the elderly, and
Yes.
the criminally insane, or
Yeah,
just
that's the
insane.
example I
All
was
right.
imagining too.
When the other has not yet developed the capacity for reason. And
Mhm.
only insofar as that control is directed exclusively towards fostering the emergence of such capacity. So if you're fucking molesting someone, that is evidently not a negentropic proper use of your guardianship over them. Duh. Yeah, that needs to be clarified.
Thank you.
Likewise, if an individual who has developed reason has lost it, this is insane people or elderly people, control by another is only negentropic to the extent that's required to preserve the life of the affected individual and, where possible, restore their capacity for reason. That's, well, yeah.
Okay.
In all
All
such
right.
cases, the negentropic nature of guardianship is strictly conditional, proportional, and extinguished the moment autonomous reason is acquired or restored. Very, very important little paragraph.
Mhm. It's like the
Uh,
instructions of a game,
yeah,
the
it's,
rules of the
it,
game.
it's really a text about natural law, about
Yeah, it
what's good and what's not. Uh,
but also a bit of
property,
ethics. Yeah.
it's all ethics. It's all ethics
Yeah.
with a little bit of metaphysics sprinkled in. Property external to the body, as a conflict prevention mechanism, only serves to preserve negentropy when originated through homesteading, trade, or gift. These methods integrate information without initiatory coercion, so they may be called legitimate, because they fulfill the negentropic function they are meant to fulfill. Does that make sense? Like if I get property by conquering a piece of land, like if the
Hmm.
piece of land was already in a state of war before, that kind of calls the legitimacy of it into question. But if you do any of these things, they're completely peaceful. They all increase neg entropy. They are fully legitimate. Homesteading, trade, or gift.
All right.
Hmm.
The use of force is a choice that can be entropic or negentropic. Aggressive force, initiatory coercion against the person or property of another, overrides reason with compulsion, which is always entropic. The
Mhm.
initiation of force dissolves volition, degrades reason, and moves civilization toward decay. Retaliatory force, by contrast, is force used solely to repel, stop, or rectify initiatory aggression against person and property. It does not negate volition, it actually restores volition. It does not impose upon reason, but rather removes such impositions. Retaliation preserves the conditions under which reason, choice, and voluntary coexistence can continue. So this is kind of to not be like full pacifists, like any violence increases entropy. Like, no, some violence increases entropy and it's bad. Some violence is necessary, and that line is determined by whether you're literally like kids on the playground. He started it. If he started it, he's the one creating the entropic intrusion. If you're defending yourself, you are
Exactly.
preserving negentropy.
Hmm.
It's like sometimes playground rules are more important than they seem.
Mhm.
But
But I guess it only favors negentropy if you give back the same amount of energy that they gave you, right? In that case. Because
right, or
if
if
you
you
give it
take
back, but
back,
if you give it back stronger, then you're still in an unbalance, right? I'm thinking of like
I think there's like a threshold. Let's say one person steals like I don't know, $50. Do they have to just pay back $50? Or do they have to pay back $50 plus the hassle, plus the crime, plus the violence of it?
okay, yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe
that
I
maybe
would
makes sense.
say
75 would be more
I would
fair.
say 50. I would say they should pay back 50. I mean, they stole it, they give it back.
Yeah,
But
I
they should
think
pay like
Like,
a little more,
yeah.
no?
I mean, following all of these like mind games of the
I'm
text,
thinking
the most intuitive thing for me is to say only 50.
I'm thinking game
Okay.
theory here. The
Mm,
the idea that if you want to be like truly in like you want to truly win, you can't really win, you can't really you
mm.
can just like kind of empatar, like you can
Yeah,
only draw or lose
because if you start
in any
bending,
like
But
cosmic
what I'm saying
scenario.
is
I
when
don't know
you
how to
take
explain
$50 from someone, you're
mm,
not just taking $50. You're taking away their safety. You're taking away their
the
trust. You're taking away
time.
their time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, now that
yeah,
makes sense because
yeah,
what I
yeah.
was seeing before is if we start bending these things, like these rules, then everything just falls apart, right? We have to go like It has to make sense equally, right? So that was a counterpart that I was like missing. But yeah, it's true. They're missing much more than $50. Their time has to be accounted for. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Now it checks out.
Okay. And that takes us to, well, who's gonna take back the $50? Who's gonna like, hey, mommy, he pushed me on the playground? The state, the government. The
Mm-hmm.
state is, by definition, the institution with the greatest capacity for organized force within a given geographical area. Yeah, all that, oh, it's the representation of the people. Oh, it's the mandate from God. That's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. Is the organization with the biggest guns in town. That's the state. That's the government. That's what it is. Its domain is that of force. If a state wishes to preserve civilization rather than dissolve it, and very often states do dissolve civilization, think of the Soviet Union,
Mm-hmm.
its use of force must be strictly constrained to retaliation alone. Retaliation against any and all perpetrators of initiatory force against the person and property of all its individual citizens. Any use of force beyond this function ceases to be defensive, becomes initiatory regardless of intent, and increases entropy far more destructively than private aggression ever could. If my cadence changed a little bit there, it's because I'm trying to sound like Yaron Brook. The state that initiates force is an entropic leviathan. A state that confines itself to defense and retaliation is a negentropic juggernaut that preserves liberty, justice, peace, and civilization. The degree to which a state enables or enacts initiatory force is the degree to which the society under its jurisdiction will decay. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes total sense with what I was saying just a few moments ago. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's great.
Liberty and justice are functional necessities of negentropic civilization. Liberty is the condition in which no individual is subject to initiatory coercion against their person or property. That's liberty. Justice is the preservation of that condition through the forcible cessation and rectification of initiatory acts of aggression. That's what justice is. Someone violates your liberty, your property, that is stopped and it is rectified.
Mm-hmm.
You will take no more money and you will give back $60.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Liberty allows reason to act freely upon reality. Any and all violations of liberty are entropic injustices, because liberty, justice, and negentropy are inseparable. A trespass against one is a trespass against all three. Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yes. No complaints.
Thus, law is not command, convention, or consensus. Rather, law is the discovery process of the objective outline that determines when and how force may be used to preserve negentropy without itself becoming entropic. True law delineates the narrow boundary within which force ceases to suppress reason and instead serves it. That's a very dense sentence. True law determines what kinds of force actually help reason and what kinds of force are against reason.
So we're comparing the law, like the law imposed by the government and actual
And the law like following entropy
yeah.
and
I'm saying
negentropy.
if governments claim to be the protectors of civilization, then their laws are subject to be mistaken. Their laws can be wrong. And
Okay.
there is an objective standard by which to measure if their laws are wrong or right.
All
So the
right.
laws that
Which
are right, this is what they're doing. The laws that are wrong are doing something else. They
Okay.
are entropic uses
Great.
of
So
force.
the true law is the one that connects to the negentropic purpose, right? To the negentropic.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes, yes, 100%.
perfect.
To remain within this boundary, forcible action must only ever operate defensively, to restore legitimate action spaces when they are violated. Thus, true law is the discovered geometry of negentropic force. It's mathematical
Mm.
more than human.
Hmm.
It is the means by which justice preserves liberty and civilization protects voluntary coordination between rational agents against entropic decay.
Hmm.
This is where we get to the capitalism part. You are completely right. You are completely right.
Knew it.
The natural and unavoidable consequence of property rights exercised by individuals in conditions of scarcity is exchange. When reasoning agents possess exclusive control over action spaces and are free to act upon their knowledge, preferences, and expectations, a market necessarily emerges as the means by which disparate individual plans are harmonized without coercion. The market is simply the spontaneous order that emerges when volition and coexistence is permitted to operate freely. I didn't say capitalism, but I kind of
No,
said it.
but. But it's there. It's
At the
there.
civilizational scale, markets constitute the most negentropic computational structure available to humanity. A
Mm.
distributed catalactic, and that's a really cool word. Catalactic is like the nicer word for economics. It was developed by Richard Whately, uh, an
Cadillac.
Irish philosopher and economist. A distributed catalactic system that processes vast quantities of local, tacit, and time-sensitive information through price signals generated by voluntary exchange. Each price encodes compressed knowledge about relative scarcity, opportunity cost, and subjective valuation, enabling coordination that no centralized intellect could ever compute or replicate. That's also
Is
the
it,
capitalist
wait a
part.
second. You just described how markets work, no?
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, for example, the opponents of capitalism, the self-proclaimed opponents of capitalism, would say is that, well, there's market failures and the government has to intervene in the market to support this or to support that or to stop this or to stop that. And the claim here is any initiatory use of force is going to distort the market and create more negentropy.
All
It's
right.
never going to work out. It's never going to lead to a better outcome. Someone's always going to suffer for it, and they're going to suffer more than if things had been otherwise,
All right.
than if the government had respected true law.
Yeah.
Through continuous feedback and error correction, markets iteratively reallocate resources towards higher valued uses. The resulting growth in wealth and prosperity is not an accidental byproduct, but the thermodynamic signature of successful catalactic computation.
That's a
Real.
Dang.
badass sentence.
Repeat it, repeat it,
Yes.
repeat
My
it. I need to
brother.
repeat it.
The resulting growth in wealth and prosperity is not an accidental byproduct, but the thermodynamic signature of successful catalactic computation.
Beautiful.
Negentropy.
Mwah.
Chef's kiss to that sentence. I
Thank you,
I
Hayek.
understand it. Do you
Hayek.
know what I feel a lot from this text? Like I understand it subconsciously,
Mhm.
but I could not explain what each word does, you know? But I understand. I understand it. but subconsciously, you know
Just
what?
the order of the words is enough to
Maybe I
That's some
understand.
real brainwashing right there.
Damn. The resulting growth and wealth and prosperity that the market flourishes is actually the thermodynamic signature of success. I am guessing is negentropy, and
Right.
catalytic computation is that it was calculated. I have no clue what that means, but I understand
Catalactic computation means when you go buy a soda from the supermarket, in
uh,
that little number, that price, and that exchange,
uh,
you just calculated how much it cost to produce the can, how much it costs to produce the drink, how much the employees of the company are getting paid, the logistic costs of bringing those cans to the supermarket, the wages of the people working at the supermarket. You just calculated all of
ah,
that with a
mhm.
that's what that little cha-ching means. All of that.
Damn. Okay, so in the sentence, in context, what I'm getting, okay, I still understand it subconsciously, but let me try it. The resulting growth in the wealth prosperity is not actually byproduct by the thermodynamic signature of successful catalytic computation. So basically, the market flourishes because it computes, it takes into account everything that it needs to get into that price, that
But
it
it's
matches
deeper.
the,
It's deeper. People flourish. I think it's clarified by the next sentence.
okay,
Real economic growth, not GDP, because who the fuck cares about GDP,
I
is
don't even know what it
increased civilizational negentropy, manifested as rising standards of living. So after every cycle,
right.
let's say after every year of you going and doing your transactions and the cashier doing their transactions on their own side and the employer doing their transactions on their own
Ah,
side, after everyone in a society does that for a cycle, for a year, the next cycle is going to be more prosperous. There's going to be more
okay, okay,
stuff.
okay.
Less
Let
people
me
are going
repeat
to
it.
die.
I'm gonna forget if I don't say it now. Basically, if the government does not impose anything and does not edit anything in the market, it will naturally go into some it will go basically into harmony, where it be a negentropic not only for the market itself but civilization, since
Yes.
everything you just said. Okay, now I get it.
The market is just a computer. It's just a
Hmm.
computer for civilization.
Okay. Okay.
And well, I think I should also clarify. It's not that the government should do nothing. The government should ensure that there's no fraud, that there's
Right.
no
So
theft.
vigilance.
Exactly. Yes, vigilance. That there's no vandalism, that there's no
Mhm.
murder. Government needs to ensure that all of the property boundaries, bodily and external to the body, are respected. And under those conditions, when the government enforces natural law, true law, then the market can run smoothly. And if it runs right, which it will, people will be better off year after year.
Basically, everyone should just behave. If you all behave, human civilization will last forever.
Right? Yes. And everyone should behave, including the government, because the government misbehaves a
Everyone. I meant
lot.
everyone. I meant everyone.
Everybody.
Yes, yes. No
Everyone should behave.
exceptions.
And no exceptions. Especially the government should behave, because they have the biggest stick. Like if they
They
fuck
have the
up,
biggest
it
impact. Yeah,
affects the most people.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, I fuck up and I get like a beat on the ass, but just some random orange guy fucks up and fucking whole country explodes.
The
That's
Ah,
not
world.
that's
We
not
die in
negentropy.
nuclear winter.
Definitely
we're
not
not talking
negentropy.
about anyone. We're not talking about anyone specifically. This is a philosophy podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great podcast. Everyone says it. Everyone says it's great. Real economic growth, not GDP, is increased civilizational negentropy, manifested as rising standards of living. To suppress markets, therefore, is not merely to inhibit trade. Like, we're going to control this. No, no. It's to destroy the primary mechanism by which civilization thinks, learns, grows, and progresses. Yet regulating the market is like it's like pumping neurotoxins into your brain. Yeah, your whole body is just not gonna work right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
a very good comparison. I really like that one.
thank you, thank you.
Very nice. It's very
Hayek
simple.
probably came up with it before I did, or Ayn Rand, but
That's good. It's good.
shout out to Ayn Rand, shout out to Hayek.
Shout out, shout out.
Entropy. This is where it gets back to the existential side. Uh, Entropy will win one day. All life will die. All civilizations will fall. All stars will burn out. Someday, the last word will be spoken. The last engraving will fade away. The last leaf will drift. The cosmos will become a dark and undifferentiated wasteland. But I told you before, you can choose which tendency to favor in your actions. It's completely up to you. Entropy or negentropy, death or life, tyranny or liberty, violence or civilization, slavery or reason, aggression or justice, mandates or markets. You can embrace the inevitable, death, or you can embrace the absurd, life. I choose life. I choose negentropy. I choose civilization. I choose markets. I choose reason. I choose liberty. I choose justice. I choose the absurd, and I hope you will too.
Beautiful.
I don't know if my claps can be heard, but I'm clapping very loud.
They cannot be heard. It looks like.
Well,
Can you
I
hear
put
mine?
like a clapping sound effect or something. Very, very beautiful. And I think it is, my brain does a very, very, very smoothing, relaxing kind of noise when something makes sense the whole way through. Like the imagery you just said, it just makes sense like in every like aspect I can think of. And that's really it feels very nice. So thank you for massaging my brain this way. And when are you gonna like publish this in a very cool book? I can do the cover if you want.
We can publish this as a pamphlet. We can get that done, I think.
Definitely.
We should,
It's
we should.
beautiful. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Very, very much congratulations. Also, what is the name? Can you explain the name?
Zweihander. I think I have another article explaining why it's Zweihander. Yes,
Ah, because it's a cool name.
because it's a cool name,
So
like
it's
an alpha.
German for
Beautiful.
two hands, right? So basically humans, no?
Kind of, yeah. The Zweihander Initiative is my effort to build a coherent philosophical system. The aim is to run the gauntlet of philosophy, to defeat Apophis-serving giants like Heraclitus, Plato, Hobbes, Nietzsche, Hegel, Kant, Marx, Foucault, etc. Most of which are German. It takes a German sword to beat German opponents. The Zweithander is the weapon of the. Can you help me with the pronunciation? Doppelsöldner.
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 Sö-
Mighty and free individuals who fight back against unthinking hordes, which captures the spirit of this project perfectly. At its
Mm.
deepest level, the Zweithander Initiative is a stand against the snake Apophis. And when it comes to picking a sword for battling snakes, there is no better option than a Zweithander.
Very
Zweithänder.
beautiful. Very beautiful.
We like
So
that.
yeah, basically it's a cool sword. It's a cool
An
name.
AI generated image.
They're all AI generated. I'm sorry, people are gonna beat my ass for that. All of
Yes.
these
Not
covers.
not only now, like throughout your whole career. You better swap. You better pay some artists.
I'm,
When you
I'm
start
actually,
generating income, you gotta start paying some artists, man. That's
yes,
negentropy. That's negentropy, you see?
yes, yes.
He said it, okay? He said it. So
People are gonna beat my ass. As soon as I start making a better income, Andy, I will get you to make all of the covers for the videos.
most splendid.
Oh,
But for now, we just have that.
It's awesome. It's awesome. But people are really gonna avoid it if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
people do not like the whole AI thing.
But
But
it's
oh
okay.
well, that was that was Zweihander. That was pretty good, I think.
I
that
keep
was
on
very good. That
clapping,
was
but like
very good.
clap, clap,
Thank you.
clap,
Thank
clap,
you
clap,
so
clap,
much.
clap, 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 clap,
Clap,
clap,
clap,
clap,
clap,
clap.
clap, 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 clap.
Exactly.
Silent
See,
clap.
we don't have sound effects here. Oh man.
Like
Here.
Masilga. Shut up.
Whoa.
Oh my god, that's the thing. Wait a minute, how did you do that?
Damn. How did I do that? How
How
did I do that?
how would you do that?
Oh, react. React. React.
Rockets.
Nice.
Oh my god, I can't react.
You
No,
can't react.
you are reactionless.
I am reactionless.
That's entropic.
Yeah.
Boo.
I am react. Ah, here it is. Uh, recognize hand gesture.
Oh, you can do like any emoji. That's really cool.
Really?
Yes, go to the three dots and just
Dang.
I'm gonna
Let's
yeet some
do
airplane.
the.
Oh, they're flying. Goodbye. Okay, let's end it. Thank you
This is the brain rot
for
part of the
this.
episode.
Say no to brain rot. Heal your brains with some
Heal your
reading.
brain with some reading. Read some Zweihander.
Go to this guy's reading section and read all of it.
There's not
Put
much,
it,
but honestly,
the
we
link
just
is
read like
the link is in the
75% of it.
description. The link is in the description.
Oh, oh my God, that shit's cancer.
And stay away from cancer.
Subscribe.